Welcome back to Albert JTV. It feels like a lifetime, to be honest with you. When's the last time I did a live stream? But we're back again anyway for a match preview for a battle of the old Titans, I would say. But before we get into it, people, let's hit that intro. Yes, people, like Martin Tyler says, we are live at the Albert JTV household. Back to the match preview. I don't feel like I've done one for. It feels like ages, but it's not been really, to be honest
I've
with
stayed
you.
a bloody way from, mate.
But people, as I always say, smash the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then do so. We've got an amazing guest with me. I'll call him, he's my brother from another mother, even though we're in different parts of the country. But always a pleasure to have him back onto the channel. People, I will put this on my IGTV and my Spotify and Anchor for people can hear my dulcet tones, as they like to say. But special guest. We've got a big game Thursday. I'm looking forward to it anyway. But before I get into it, let me introduce my Northwest bro, Man United fan at Football One. Dan, welcome back, mate.
Thanks for having me, mate. Really, really appreciate you bringing me out of the dark and back onto the world of YouTube. It's been a month. I think it's probably coincided with that god-awful run that we've been on, to be fair.
Don't worry. We'll talk about that. Don't worry about that, Dan, mate. But let me quickly go to the people in the chat. Who's in the chat? Good old, my boy JC's in there. Cheers, bro. Nice one. And good old Sentiment FC, brilliant one-liners. It's a free hit. Yeah, I've heard that has said many a time. Yeah, I don't believe in free hits, man. Trust me. But yeah, Dan, a lot to talk about, man. In Man United and Arsenal. I think when I spoke to you last season, I think it was. The stuff that's flying around on social media about the social media derby. It's not what it's the game, the Man United Arsenal fixture, whether it's Old Trafford or the Emirates, is not what it used to be, which I partly do believe, but that's where both teams are in terms of ambition and actually being title challengers, which Arsenal are a long way off that, probably more so than yourselves. But Dan, yes. I think the first thing I actually want to speak to you about, I watched the game yesterday, the Chelsea United game, but I actually didn't see the after bit with Keane and Jamie Carragher. I thought, what's going on? So when I watched it, I thought it was brilliant to watch. I don't know what people thought, but I thought it was brilliant. What did you make of it?
I thought, do you know what? I love Keno. I'm always going to love Keno. He brought me great memories especially growing up as a youngster. And I love bits and pieces of what he says on Sky. A lot of it is tongue in cheek, but part of it is I listen to Carra and I think he speaks so much sense, and everything he said was right. Keno trying to say that we brought Ronaldo in to win a cup. Well, we're not going to win the Champions League. So you're telling me that we're paying someone $500,000 a week for the FA Cup? It's just not. It's not right. He was brought in to win the Premier League for some bizarre reason. The boys upstairs ahead of Ollie thought that we were going to be challenging for a title. I mean, how they fought this with the signings they made. I mean, arguably Varane world class, Sancho world class, but you've got to have a manager that knows what he's doing with his toys. And sadly, Ollie didn't have a clue. And it's just gone from bad to worse. Listening to Keno yesterday, I do kind of feel like Keno, Gary Neville. Not Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes has been really good, but Neville and Keane especially have just been looking out for their mates, and it's just been so frustrating the last when it's got really bad the last 5 weeks to hear him really backing Ollie when if it's Mourinho, they would be going to town on him. If it was Van Gaal, I can remember what they were like with Van Gaal. So it's the end of a nightmare, and I've got to be honest. Ollie will always have that night in '99, but it turned into the worst the worst appointment for me since Fergie's gone. I put him worse than Moyes because because Moyes was given a 6-year contract with a massive rebuild ahead of him and sacked after 7 months, and his career was in tatters after that. He's had to really work to rebuild himself.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas Ollie's just been given everything he wants, and he's won nothing. I mean, we don't celebrate second place. You know, Jose got absolutely bantered for it. And I love the fact he's tongue-in-cheek about himself on the Paddy Power thing on the advert, but you don't get anything for second place. You get a pat on the back and you say, let's go again. And this season, he's just been found wanting, and it's just been a disgrace. I'm so glad he's gone. I'm so glad. So glad.
Before we one thing I want to ask you about Ollie before we sort of move on. Obviously, when results go, when you don't get the results, your job should come under scrutiny. Listen, Mikel Arteta, he's a very, very lucky man to still have a job. We have a very unique, to put it politely, unique situation in terms of how our board operate. It's beyond believable, to be honest with you, sometimes. But what do you think it was for you in terms of Ollie? What was he getting so wrong?
So there's two things that just got me so angry. The first was he was talking about the old United way, and that was giving youth chance and playing attacking football. Fergie, for years, the reason he was so good at what he did was because he rotated a squad and he knew when to pull players out of the firing line if they weren't playing well. Ollie didn't. He just persisted and persisted and persisted to the point Maguire, I honestly think Ollie's a big part of Maguire being so bloody awful. Overplayed him. When a guy struggles with form, you take him out, you bring someone else in and you give them time and you reintegrate them. Never did it with Maguire. The second thing is the whole Donny van de Beek thing was just absolutely.
I cannot believe. I'm not even a Man United fan. I have no affiliation to Man United, but I cannot believe the way that guy has been.
Well, I'll ask you a question, Albert, and I'll ask the guys who are watching, the guys and girls who are watching. Do you honestly put Van de Beek do you honestly put McTominay and Fred in front of Van de Beek as a footballer? In fact, with anything, do you put them anywhere near it? Because I don't.
No, I don't. And I was gonna sort of come back to you with Van de Beek quickly. Yeah, I cannot believe how he's been. Not you. I was gonna say utilized, but he hasn't been. But
no,
that's not right. I'm surprised. Listen, if I was his agent, he certainly wouldn't be United still. No. Absolutely not. But it seemed to me, look from the outside looking in regards to the McTominay and Fred combination. Why was he so persistent in playing those two?
Because he came out in an interview, and this just says Ole Gunnar Solskjaer down to a T. Yeah. He said the reason I picked them is for their energy. Well, hang on a second. I'm a United fan. If you picked me to play for Manchester United, you would get you get energy for about 5 minutes, but it'd be there in the head. I would not stop running. I wouldn't stop running. You shouldn't be praised for having energy playing for a football club. It should be it's your job. At the end of the day, you're a footballer. You're there to do a job, and to say that you're picking players because of energy is just ridiculous. Honestly, the thing that sticks in my mind, will always stick in my mind with Ollie, was that the footage of Fred when he took a shot against Chelsea last season, takes a shot from outside the box, it nearly goes in, and Ollie's there. He looks like a kid in a sweet shop. He's like, oh yeah, and I'm like, just piss off. It's not good enough. And let's have this right. Van de Beek comes from the Ajax way. He's technically so gifted on the ball. Yeah. Wants to get the ball and move. And look, the ironic thing is, I won't dwell too much on it, but the ironic thing is, for a man who didn't play him very often, who's the last person that scored for Ollie in his entire job at United? It's Van de Beek.
Yeah.
And it's just poetic justice. It really is. It really is.
Oh, honestly, I'm shocked with the Van de Beek. I mean, I remember Van de Beek sort of first time I saw him was when he ran rings around Tottenham at their new stadium. The season that they got to the semi-final of the Champions League. Outstanding pedigree with him. So
massively.
I'm shocked at the way he's been treated at United.
And also, Albert, just quickly on Van de Beek, I won't obviously take the night too much up with him, but how much class and decorum has that man acted with? He could have come out and slated the club. He could have come out and slated Ollie. He just got his head down and cracked on, and that's it. That speaks volumes of the character. And I tell you what, I'd rather have 100 Van der Beeks like that in the squad than some of the bloody prima donnas that we have in there that need to go. Honestly, it's. I hope he gets his chance with the new guy with Ranić, but look, who knows? It's football, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Dan, in terms of looking at the table, Arsenal 5th, sitting on 23 points, same points as West Ham in 4th, United 8th with 18 points. There's a new man in charge at OT, another interim manager. What's your thoughts about Ralph Rangnick, mate? Coming in, obviously, he's very, very well respected in terms of in the sort of the coaching world, and comes with a lot of high praise from Klopp and also Thomas Tuchel. Spent time at Stuttgart, Hanover, Hoffenheim, won the German Cup with Schalke, and actually that year they got to the semi-final against Manchester United in the Champions League. But you gave him a good seeing to. I think it's 6-1 on aggregate. But and he also took RB Leipzig to the German Cup final. I was listening to Graham Souness earlier on TalkSport. Yeah. He said he can't understand the appointment, and he basically, from what I heard from it, what he's surmising from what Graham Souness was saying was that, you know, he hasn't got kind of a CV to write home about, which I don't really think is particularly really that accurate, if I'm being honest. But what's your thoughts about Rangnick coming in, mate?
Well, first and foremost, I'm amazed that Souness didn't blame it on Paul Pogba. You know, I'm amazed he hasn't said, you know, Paul Pogba's got to be put. No, I think. Do you know what? Look, at the end of the day, there's some Tuchel and Klopp, both incredible managers. For them to come out and say what they're saying about Rangnick is amazing. But proof's going to be in the pudding, isn't it? At the end of the day, you can have all of the accolades in football. If you don't hit the ground running, it's not going to be remembered. I mean, look, Jose come to us with a time when people still thought and felt he was still at the top of his game. I mean, he's coming in to do a job, and the job for me, I think, is to tidy up the mess that Ollie's left behind. Maybe utilise some of the players there and get them smiling again, get them enjoying their football again. But I'm more interested in what he's going to do in 6 months. The season's a write-off now for me. The season's gone for me. It's what he's here to really do, and that's helped rebuild the club from the consultancy role. And I think that's what a lot of Manchester United fans are really, really looking forward to, is he is going to go upstairs and have that control, I think, of helping us identify players, look at players that need to go out. So the next 6 months, I'm not really... It sounds really bad. I'm not asked about. The season's over for United. We're not going to finish in the top 2, top 4. I just don't know. I think there's. I think
you still got a stronger possibility than Arsenal, personally.
Well, I don't know, because United have still got to go to Anfield. We've still got to go to the Etihad. I don't think. I'm not sure, mate. To be honest, at the moment, the main thing being that the coaches that were with Ollie are still at the club. And I think that just doesn't fill me with any what's the word I'm looking, positivity at all. So I'm looking for the job he's going to be doing in 6 months as opposed to the job he's meant to be doing now, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on. Listen, I'm not no expert of footballing coach or head of scouting, but I'm pretty sure he will get you playing a lot better than what you've seen under Ollie, I'll say within the last year.
No, there was no identity under Ollie, mate. There was no identity. I honestly couldn't. We set up, if it wasn't 5 at the back, it was 4-2-3-1. But the 4-2-3-1 wasn't really a 4-2-3-1. It was a 6-3-1 because he just Tommy and Fred in front of the defence and say just sit back and hope we'll catch him on the break. I don't know. He comes from good stock. You know, as I say, there's no smoke without fire, and he's highly rated. I remember the 6-1 game the 6-1 you're talking about. I remember it was so bizarre because in that semi-final, I think in the second leg we actually played our second string. We rested players. Yeah, we were obviously a lot more superior. But look, if he does the job that I hope he does 6 months from now, I'll be happy. But as far as I'm concerned, the season's written off for me now. I don't think, as the chat where Arsenal's just said here, I don't think he'll have that impact. I can't see that, and I don't think we'll go on an amazing run in the Champions League or anything like that. The best we can hope for is the FA Cup and 4th place, and that just
Dan,
hurts.
when he obviously, I'm not sure. I think he might be. I'm not sure he's going to be on the bench for Thursday, but when he does come in eventually, when he gets on the training ground and obviously gets a few games under his belt, what's the one thing for you immediately that he needs to sort out?
Identity, massively. Identity of the way we play, massively for me, because there's no identity in how we play, and teams just don't fear us anymore. They honestly don't fear us, and this is what irritates me. Is I wake up to United fans today saying, "Oh, we got a point from Chelsea. We're this, we're that." Well, Chelsea were without Lukaku, who come on at the end. Kante wasn't there. That's two massive players. Chilwell's who's in form, so they're missing them. We were backs to the wall. We could have won it at the end, maybe, but it was Fred. And Fred, for some reason, tried a madness and tried to dink the keeper, which just blew my mind. I just sat. In fact, do you know what? I didn't even get angry watching that. I just sat there and chuckled. I thought, this is where we are at the moment. So identity is what I want him to change massively.
Do you? I was going to say, what did you make when you saw the team lineup? You saw that Ronaldo wasn't in the first starting 11. What did you make of that?
Well, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I don't know how Marcus Rashford is anywhere near the first team anyway. I don't think Rashford has played well for a year. Now, Ronaldo come off the back of scoring against Villarreal, and you play players who've got confidence, and he's not short of confidence. Now, does he affect, I don't know, does he affect the way that we play? Possibly. Is he going to be a number one starter for Ranić after these comments about him being too old and blah years ago? I think he'll have to. I think Ranić's coming in, and they've told him, look, this season you play Ronaldo. We don't, we spent a lot of money on him, but I think he should have started against Chelsea. I definitely do, because the question I'll ask you, I don't know if you watched and anybody watched it as yesterday. Rashford didn't do anything last night. Rashford did nothing. I mean, Ronaldo come on and didn't really do anything, but for the whole game that Rashford was, he did nothing. And I kind of feel like, what was his point? What was his point there? But at least with Ronaldo, there's a goal. There's a goal. There's always a chance of a goal. It could be from nothing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think with Rashford, Dan, I've always said this. Listen, I like Marcus Rashford done some amazing things outside of football. Honestly, it's been incredible. But particularly when I see him play for England, and I think part of the problem, Dan, you might agree, I'm not sure, you see him more than I do. He's worked under so many different managers, and he's still only, I don't know how old Marcus Rashford is, he 24,
25, isn't he? I
think he's worked under so many different managers in so many different positions. I'm not sure how well his game's actually developed.
Well, Ollie's this is like the classic. Ollie's not developed his game in the 3 years he's been there. Marcus Rashford is still the same player now as he was 3 years ago. So I actually don't see where do you put Rashford? I mean, where does Rashford actually start? Does he start over the likes of Sterling for England on the left? Does he start? Grealish is there now. Does he start for United when we've got a fully fit squad? I just don't see it, and I don't see what his role is. There was a time 18 months to years ago, when he was on fire.
Yeah,
he had that back injury, but then Ollie again just overplayed him, and I think it ruined him. And I do feel that as much as Ollie's come out and said I respect Ollie and and love him, blah blah, I actually think that he has been one of the biggest problems for Rashford's career. I honestly do.
Yeah, no, I listen. I agree. Like I said, I look at Rashford still now, and I think to myself, if I'd watched him for the first time tomorrow or today, whatever, I still look at him as a raw talent, and that I should not be saying that at his age. And the amount of England caps he's had, and the amount of first-team football he's had at one of the biggest clubs in world football, he still comes across as a raw talent. And that's not a compliment.
He's kind of like with you guys with Theo Walcott. You were always waiting for that. Right, he's here now. Theo Walcott is developing into that player. I remember when you guys gave him the 14 shirt, and it was like that is a major thing to give someone like Theo Walcott. I kind of feel like Rashford's exactly the same for United. I'm not saying they're exactly the same player, but their career paths I feel like are going the same way.
Yeah, that's true. I just wanted to come on to Arteta actually. People in the chat, big up to you for coming in. Very lively, man. Dan, you brought the audience over, man. The Gooners are liking you just for today. Just for today.
A wounded animal.
But no, Jam, I'll get your points about Arteta is what I'm going to say. People in the chat will know. You know what it is? The thing with Arteta, right? Like I said, mentioned before, I think he's very lucky to still be in the job, personally. Because I know a lot of fans after the Villarreal semi-final last season and playing Willian as a false nine, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. But then with Arteta, I don't know what it is amongst our Arsenal fan base. It's a strange one, Dan, because like you had a situation where we lost to Villarreal, we got knocked out of the Europa League, the season was done. He's got to go. He's got to go. Some sections have backed him. He needs his own players. The players can't play his system. This and that. Now he should be given time. And I'm like, but how do you go from you should sack him to give him time and give me his players? I don't know what's happened to Arsenal. To be fair, not just aiming this at Arteta, because even the last few years of Wenger, the football wasn't great to watch. No, I don't care what any Arsenal fan tells me; it wasn't very good to watch. And attacking wise, I made the point a few weeks ago on, I think on my channel and probably on Lee Judge TV, that if you look at our goals scored in the last 3 or 4 years, we are way down in the Premier League. But defensively, we've conceded less, but we still stayed in the same position in the league. So, from an outside point of view, what do you see anything different from when you first come across Arteta and see what he was doing at Arsenal to what you see now?
I think with Arteta, the main thing for me is when he come in, he had to get rid of a lot of deadwood. I think there is, I mean, he inherited, I don't think he inherited the best of squads there. To answer your question about should he have gone, should he have stayed, look, I think if you lose the games he loses at the start of the season and he doesn't get sacked, well, then you keep him, because there's no point in sacking him next month if he loses, if he goes 2 on the bounce. There's just no point. You've backed him for them games. You may as well carry on. You guys are, bar the Liverpool game, I've enjoyed watching you play. I absolutely love how Ramsdale's taken this opportunity, by the way. And I must admit, I've bantered him the last 2 years. Bantered him. And I actually watch and I enjoy watching him play. And there's a keeper there. I really like him.
You brought me onto him nicely. I was going to say, I mean, if any Arsenal fans being really, really honest, I mean, I can only speak for myself, obviously, but when I heard that we was linked with him, Dan, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I thought, really? I thought, what's
for the money as well.
and it wasn't even so much to do with the fact that he played for Bournemouth or Sheffield United. I just thought I couldn't really. I knew goalkeeper was an issue at Arsenal because I'm not. Listen, there's a lot of people that used to sing Bernd Leno's praises, and I wasn't one of them. And then we had a problem. We didn't really have a good backup goalkeeper. So when the Ramsdale link came, I was like, Arsenal fans were like, "What? I don't understand what's going on." But he has embodied the word character into our team.
Definitely,
100%. He that rubs off in the team. Him and Gabriel for me have been instrumental in.
I like Gabriel. Really like Gabriel. The goal against Leicester, that header was stunning. Yeah. Really like him. Really like him.
Yeah, they've been instrumental in the aggression and the physicality. And like I said, with Ramsdale, he just brings a character and the mentality that you want to see in players that want to play for the shirt and actually put in performances that are worth it. I mean, even the games. I'm sorry. Let me come to the chat quickly. Let me come to the chat. Let me read out some comments actually. Yes, FC Albert. Honestly, after the Newcastle game, I was disappointed that I woke up to watch that. So you know what it is, and I mentioned this yesterday when I was on Lee Judge TV, the 9 p.m. show yesterday. That I think with Arsenal fans, what we got to understand, right, is that we're not the team of 97, 98. We're not the caliber of 03, 04. You know, people talk about the media being against Arsenal, which I think a lot of the time they are. So, some of the stuff I hear, I can't believe I'm hearing from ex-pros. But when you've got Arsenal fans moaning and complaining about games that we deserve to win, we should be winning 3 and 4s, but the other team come back into it.
Christ, what I'd give to see if
Yeah,
you win at the moment, mate. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. I mean, you know, I mentioned 3 particular games we won this season, right? There was 3. We won the games in 3 completely different styles. We beat Villa at home, dominant performance for most of the game, probably 70, 80 minutes done. A fantastic 25-minute spell against Leicester, which blew them out the water, and a 45-minute spell against Spurs. We played well. We deserved to win. Yeah. Arsenal fans, you can enjoy that. Yes, we can want more. We can want more consistent performances. Creativity has been a massive issue for Arsenal. If you look at our midfield, Dan, I've got to be honest, mate, and a lot of Arsenal fans in the chat and will agree with me that it's not good enough. And that's with Thomas Partey.
At the same time, though, we're in the same. I mean, look, United fans and Arsenal fans, we're in the same boat. You know, you think about it. We're at an age where we've come through eras, as you said, the 90s, early noughties for you guys, the 90s and the noughties for ourselves. The players that we had playing in both of our midfields, and you think about the embarrassment of riches we had. I mean, back then, you guys, Perez, Ljungberg, Vieira, Parla, just to name a few. We were blessed. United had that. United, I still to this day, and I'll get ripped apart for this. United had the best midfield when you're playing 4-4-2 I've ever seen. In the late 90s with Beckham, Giggs, Scholes, and Keano. We were blessed to have so much talent. Now we're both coming through the time where our team just isn't matching what we were used to, what we were lucky and growing up watching. And it's hard. It is hard because we will always compare it to what we've watched years ago. I still sit there now and think every game, do you know what? We should be smashing these. Every game United played up until 10 years ago, even when we were 2-0 down the 85th minute, you sat there and you thought, we're still in this. We get a goal. We're all right. Jesus Christ, now, if United concede in the first half an hour, I feel like we're lucky. I feel like we're doing all right. We've been very lucky. To grow up watching the teams we play. And now, one thing I will say, at the end of Wenger's reign, I always felt you missed a character in that midfield. You had the likes of Vieira. I mean, Gilberto Silva, man, I absolutely loved that bloke when I used to watch him in the early noughties. Once them players departed the team, you missed characters like that, and I think I don't know how we can expect it to be like it was. I don't think it ever is going to be like it was. Football has changed so much since then. Money has changed football so much, but Christ Almighty! I mean, you've got characters there. It's just building on what you've got, and I don't know if Arteta will build or if he's given the time, possibly. I don't know.
I think for me, and I'm not going to speak for every Arsenal fan because the thing is, with Arteta, I'm still not 100% convinced. If I'm being brutally honest, and I say that just because top 4 is there for the taking, believe it or not, even despite Arsenal's flaws. But I think the biggest problem we've got is the fact that, from an attacking point of view, we're so lackluster, whoever is the front 3, and you combine that with the lack of midfield creativity, that will come back to bite us. Yes, we haven't got European football, so that's less games, so there's more recovery time. But for me, the attack is a major concern for me because we don't score enough goals. In many games, we don't score enough goals in the first 35 minutes for me, or in the first half, because it puts a lot of pressure on us because our build-up play is so slow and it's stagnated, as people mentioned in the chat. It is his subs and the way he utilizes the youngsters can be a little bit questionable sometimes. The Martinelli thing is a major thing with Arsenal fans of Arteta.
How he doesn't play more. I absolutely love watching that guy play. I think he's quality. I don't understand how he doesn't play him more.
I think the thing is, people talk about the major injury he had last season, which was a major injury. But my argument was that if he's fit enough to be on the bench and the strikers ahead of him are not doing their job or not being consistent and putting the ball in the back of the net, he should be getting more game time.
Definitely. And he was young. He's young enough to get over that injury as well and still come back and have an amazing career. He didn't get it when he was 29, 30, did he? He's young, and you can see he's hungry as well. You can see he just wants to get on the field, and that's what teams like both of us are missing at the moment is young players hungry, wanting to play and score.
He scored a fantastic goal on against Newcastle Saturday. It's a brilliant finish. Brilliant finish.
It was, yeah. But is that not enough? I mean, I asked the guys who are watching, does Arteta not watch it and think, need to change this? It's stubbornness, isn't it? You get a lot of managers now that are just stubborn and will just stick with what they're doing.
And the thing is, Dan, he's going to have to rely on him because when AFCON comes around, I think it's January 6th to February 6th, I think it is, he's going to have to rely on Martinelli because the problem is we're playing Aubameyang consistently and Lacazette of recent, and they're still not scoring.
No.
And they're our main two strikers.
He's not the same. I don't know. I mean, I don't watch Arsenal as much as you guys do, obviously, but Aubameyang doesn't look the same player. He's not looked the same for the last 18 months. Why is that?
I can understand last season, and people in the chat, I'm sure, might agree or disagree, and people watching this on YouTube and Facebook Live, is that I understand, obviously, the issues that his mum's health last season.
Yeah.
And also he had malaria, and that's not an easy thing to get over.
No.
But I said this before, and I do generally think this, and people can talk about credit in the bank till the cows come home, but I'm looking at an individual footballer in terms of can he do more, because he's consistently poor. I mean, people can talk about the creativity and not giving chances, but you can't legislate for that miss that he did on Saturday. I mean, that was an open goal.
I put that worse than Carnu. Do you remember Carnu for West Brom?
West Brom, it was awful. Yeah,
I thought it was awful.
Yeah, but yeah, Aubameyang, it's a big concern. But I think I won't say all Arsenal fans, because I think a lot of Arsenal fans give him a free pass.
Definitely 1,000,000%, 150 million.
Because the thing is, Dan, I don't know how much you've seen of Nicolas Pepe, and whether it's a good example or not, I'm not sure. But if Pepe played to the level of the way Aubameyang's played in the last few months, people will have a go at Pepe anyway. But if it was another player that was playing at the level that Aubameyang's been showing us as Arsenal fans, they will be ripping into him. They'll be ripping him to pieces. But because it's Aubameyang, he does, for me, he gets a free pass from some of the Arsenal fans. He does. And I don't think that's right.
How old is he now? Is he 31, 32?
Oh, I think Aubameyang's 32. People in the chat, let me know if I've got that right or wrong.
31, 32.
Yeah.
I mean, this is another thing. Is this not the time to be sort of moving a player like... I mean, he's got to be on massive wages as well.
Yeah, he's got to be on massive wages. You know what it is, Dan? I look at someone that feels he's missed the boat playing somewhere else. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, the thing is, Dan, he'll start on Thursday. He will start. He's not going to be dropped.
And he'll bloody score against us as well. I've just absolutely bloody done it, haven't I?
The only thing, I mean, if it was down to me, and people in the chat, let me know if you agree or disagree. And I said it yesterday. I'd actually start, if Aubameyang's going to play, I'll start Martinelli and I'll start Lacazette. Listen, I can, as an Arsenal fan, I can't believe I'm even saying it, Dan, to be honest with you. But one thing coming into the start of the season that I wanted to see was a consistent 11, which was the first thing, and to have a cornerstone of a defensive 5 that Arsenal fans can actually look at and actually have faith and have confidence that they're going to deliver. And they have been, from what I've seen so far. Let me come to you, Dan. What have you made of Arsenal's defense this season?
Mate, honestly, the boy at right back, what's his name?
Takahiro flipping Tomoyasu.
Love him, mate. Absolutely love him. He's an absolute demon on my fantasy football, by the way, as well. Absolutely love him, mate. I think it's growing, and I think this season, you're getting a consistent back 4 now, aren't you?
Yes, that's what we've been crying out for years. Yeah.
I mean, Christ Almighty, there's been some clangers in there, hasn't there? And I think, look, put it this way, right? I know people laugh about him, but Rob Holding, Ben White. It's Ben White all day long, isn't it? Rob Holding, Gabriel. it's Gabriel all day long. But the person I wanted to ask you guys about, actually, who's the boy out on loan at the moment? Is he at Marseille or is he at...
Oh God, Guendouzi.
Yeah, no.
Saliba.
Is it
William Saliba? William Saliba, yeah, loan, yeah.
Whatever happened with him? Because you pay good money for him and he's never played. But I mean, I hear him in France, he's tearing it up and he's quality.
You know what I think it is, and this is my personal opinion. With Saliba, it's not an ability thing, Dan. It's not. If anybody wants to tell me it is, it's not. It's not an ability thing.
Is it just his age, or?
I think it must. I think it's an attitude thing that Arteta must see, because I don't know what it is. It's not his ability.
He sent him out straight away, didn't he? As soon as he got there, he sent him out.
Yeah, to me, it's a personality thing, Dan. It has to be that, because it cannot be about this guy's ability. But Dan, before I'm going to come back to you again about Ben White, because I don't know if you know this, amongst the Arsenal fan base. He's quite a hot topic, actually, Ben White. There's a lot of... I mean, I'll give you my opinion about him, and I'll sort of kind of bring in what Arsenal fans have kind of said about him. But I've seen Ben White play for Brighton, and obviously his time at Leeds, and I like what I've seen personally. I think part of the problem with sections of the fan base is they've not watched Ben White before he came to Arsenal. English player, he's got to be overhyped, he's overpriced, he's not that good. You know, English tax on top of it. And, you know, they kind of, you know what I think it is? I think it's a snobbery thing, mate, if I'm to be honest with you. Because if Ben White had gone, the thing is, if Ben White had gone to Liverpool, for example, because Liverpool were interested, by the way, last season, and absolutely tore it up, the Arsenal fan base would have gone into meltdown. The recruitment has been slipping again. Why don't we get Ben White? But I like what I see. I think he's been very good this season.
I think he'll grow as well, mate. I think that's the other thing. He'll grow. I think he's a player that just nothing phases him. I remember him making his debut for England before the Euros. I know it was only a friendly, but he looked so he didn't look out of place at all. And I think he will actually grow. I think he'll grow into some player for you. And the main thing, as I said before, is having that consistent back four. If you could go 2 seasons with that back four and have Saliba come back if he gets in, if Arteta changes his mind, but if you can have that consistency, it's only gonna do one thing for you, and that's improve you. Ramsdale's obviously got the number 1 shirt. I don't see him losing that at all. He's been. It would take a lot for him to lose it now. I think Leno will perhaps go in either January or definitely go to the end of the year. But that back five,
he definitely doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be a Burnley.
It's a hell of a back five, though. It really is a hell of a back five. And Tierney, I really like Kieran Tierney. I think he's feisty, mate. Feisty little dog.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. We've got good problems for once. Arsenal's players, like I can't believe I'm even saying it. To be honest with you, it must be April 1st. But like, you know, we've got competition. The problem with Arsenal for a number of years, Dan, is that we've not had enough competition in lots of areas of the pitch. The right back situation was driving me mad. You know, Tierney obviously he's had a lot of injury issues before he came to Arsenal and at Arsenal. Tavares has come in. He's very raw, Tavares, but a lot of promise there. But like I said, mate, we've got a back five now that we can look at and think, you know what? Ramsdale, listen, I think the one thing Pickford has in goal for England has over most of the goalkeepers is because of his distribution. He now has a goalkeeper who's just as good.
And he's a goalkeeper that enjoys playing football. He's a footballer that loves playing football. That we've all seen the footage of him with the Leicester fans when he turned, you know. I love that. That's a footballer who's enjoying playing. And I think we're in a culture now far too often where footballers are terrified of expressing themselves. I love that, and I think that I think people like that can only be a positive for Arsenal. That back five, they're all young enough to grow and develop together, not just on their own, together as a unit. I mean, Christ Almighty, I'd give anything to have a back five.
I think the Arsenal fans in the chat will agree with me as well. Is that one thing that was labelled at Arsenal for a number of years is that we're a bit of a soft touch. We could be easily bullied. We could be easily intimidated. That isn't the case this season. The likes of Ramsdale and Gabriel. I mean, Ramsdale's 6'2", Gabriel's 6'2", Tomiyasu's 6'2", Tavares is 6'2". We're not going to be intimidated anymore.
No.
Watford tried to do that a few weeks ago. They came to the Emirates. They tried to kick us off the park. but we stood up. We stood up and we was counted. But coming to you, Dan, in terms of United and your defense, what?
Well, see you later.
What do you think? What needs improving, or what do you think is the biggest problem?
I think, do you know what? I kind of feel like for a long time, players knew that they were going to play regardless. Under Ollie, they knew they were going to play. I mean, they're all saying Harry Maguire in the chat. I actually really bloody rate the bloke. I just feel like he's been a victim of being overplayed. Same with Luke Shaw. You don't go like Luke Shaw. You don't go from being one of the world's best left backs last season to being, well, Christ.
He had a very good season last season.
He did. But you know what? This is the other thing with Luke Shaw as well, actually. If you look at how many games Luke Shaw's played over the last 2 years, it's ridiculous. A ridiculous amount. And I kind of feel like if you're playing week in, week out, I do feel like this is, again, going back to Fergie was so good at pulling players out and just pulling them out for a couple of weeks, bringing that hunger back. I think they were just a victim. The whole back four, well, the whole back 29, because there's no attacking play. But the whole back four, back five, they just play. They knew they were playing week in, week out. McTominay and Fred playing week in, week out, and I think you get. I think it happens, doesn't it? The consistency goes if you know you're going to play each week. I don't think it's an ability thing. The ability's there for all of them. You don't play in the Premier League, let alone Manchester United, if you haven't got ability. It's just consistency. I think that's been the major issue.
I was going to ask, so at the start of the season, so you brought in Ronaldo, you brought in Varane and Jadon Sancho. Listen, I rate Jadon Sancho. The thing with me, Dan, I can separate someone playing for another club, and they're a good player. I don't care if they play for United, Tottenham, Everton, Liverpool. I can sit here and wax lyrical. That doesn't bother me. When with the acquisition of those players and what you already had at Manchester United with Pogba and Fernandes and Martial, Greenwood in there and Rashford, what was your expectations at the start of the season?
Be completely honest, I didn't have any, mate, because he consistently carried on with McTominay and Fred in the midfield. That is your engine. That is your engine room. That is where that is where the play's broken up and then built up again. Everything comes through that midfield. So look, I'm not going to. I wanted Ollie out after the Europa League final. I thought the team he picked, I thought the way he set himself up was just ridiculous. But for this season, you can buy all of the talent in the world, but if you don't have that core, nothing's going to happen. And look, I don't think players down tools necessarily, but Pogba. At the best of times, Pogba's a player you've got to appeal to his ego. You have to. He's a player that loves. He's a player that wants to be told week in, week out, "You're my boy. You're going to absolutely tear it up. I'm building this team around you." I think he give up. The Liverpool game, that red card. I'm not saying any player ever comes out to get sent off, intentionally, other than Keno, but. I just looked at that tackle and thought, "You're gone, mate. I don't think you'll ever play for Ollie again." And I was right. He's not played for Ollie in the league again after that, other than the Champions League, of course.
Yeah. Dan, can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I've got a little bit of echo. I can hear a little bit of echo. I don't know where it's coming from. I took the microphone out, so he's getting on my bloody nerves. But no, yeah. Some of the results. When I watched that, when you played Liverpool at Old Trafford, I couldn't. I thought Liverpool would win, but I did not see that result coming. I know people feared it, but
I did. I could see it a million miles off. I could see it the first couple of minutes when I could see us trying to press them. I thought, "What are you doing? Have you learned nothing? What are you doing?"
Yeah, that's the thing. You know what it is with United. Even though I know you're obviously not happy with what you're seeing in terms of consistency in team performance, but with the quality of players you have. Listen, there's not many. Listen, you can't. There's not many managers. There are managers out there, obviously, but in terms of if you can just get one that gets the team of a bit more cohesion of pattern of play, then United are going to be serious. They're going to give a lot of teams serious problems. This is Manchester United we're talking about. It's a seriously good football club.
I know, but people say, "Oh, you know, we're United. We should, we should be up there. We should be up there without a doubt." You know, the players that we've got, some of these players, you know, Varane, Ronaldo, multi-Champions League winning players. Pogba's won a World Cup. Jadon Sancho, you know, I think he was up there for the most assists over the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes, just incredible. But if you don't have the players behind them in that midfield, then you're not going to achieve anything. Honestly, I don't see it. Now, is it going to change overnight? Definitely not. But as I said, I'm looking at Ragnick to come in and just give us an identity. Just give us an identity and get us playing a specific style of play. I mean, we know that he likes to press. That's his major thing is the press, the gang of press. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure. I think we're a long way off going anywhere near that anyway.
No, of course. A couple more things before we wrap up, mate. But obviously, I mean, when I looked at the sort of Arsenal's sort of next sort of group of fixtures, at the time we beat Leicester, we played Liverpool, and we obviously come up against Newcastle. We knew we were going to play you and Everton and Southampton. A lot of games coming up, but I had us down for a defeat at Old Trafford. I'll be honest. I'm not going to sit here and lie just because I got you on, or I'm not. With me, once I sort of have my score predictions, I don't change them.
Yeah,
I'll just stick with it. But I just think, I said that because I know we went there and won there last season 1-0, but our record at OT is horrific. We've only won there twice in 15, 16 years, I think it is, in the league. It's awful. But there's times when we've gone to OT in recent years. I think Emery's first season where we went to Old Trafford, I thought this is the time for Arsenal to go and make a statement. We went and got a bloody 2-2 draw, going 2-1 up, and then after the kickoff, Kolasinac goes and makes a mistake, and it's 2-2. But I'm actually looking forward to the game. I'll be honest with you.
that was a December game, wasn't it? That was.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
mate, I'll tell you a funny story about that. I was flying on my honeymoon, right, and we were flying over America, and it was live on the bloody on the little screen in front of me, and I'll never forget. The wife was asleep, and I was like, oh, I've got the United game on here. This is incredible. So I went to the back and I said, "Oh, can I have a beer for the game?" And they're like, "Oh, we're only allowed one per customer, per passenger." So what I did is I got 3 rows of people behind me to order a beer each, and I sat there. I managed to get 10 cans of beer and watch the football flying over Dallas. It was incredible, mate. Best game of football I've ever watched. Best game of football I've ever watched.
It wasn't when we went 2-1 up and it went back to 2 within about 10 seconds. I was fuming, man. Oh my god!
I'm not.
And he's still here.
I'm not confident, mate. I'm not confident. I'm not. I don't think you change overnight. I think, as I say, Chelsea, if they took their chances yesterday, it would have been 3 or 4 or 5. I honestly think so. I think you guys are in better form. You know, take the Liverpool result out of the way. Liverpool are Liverpool. Liverpool are obviously just an entity into their own. They're playing with such flair and such freedom and just doing the Klopp thing every week in, week out. It's one of them. But I don't feel confident. At best, I think it will be a score draw, but I don't see us winning. I don't see us winning, even if Ragnick's in the dugout. I can't see it.
I mean, like I said, I looked at our fixtures. I said that we would. This is just my opinion. So Arsenal fans in the chat, don't kill me. Arsenal fans in the chat, you see my content, so you would know I'm very, very consistent with my score predictions. But I said that we would lose at Old OT and we would get a point at Everton away, even though they're on a dire run of form.
They're all, yeah.
I mean,
Rafa's
in trouble. He's in big trouble.
And who they got next? Liverpool, haven't they?
Oh god, yeah. And 8, is it 7 in a row they've lost now? 8 in a row?
Wow.
Yeah. They're not 1 in 8. I can't remember, but yeah, Dan, I'm gonna get the teams up and I'll give you my sort of what I think the score might be. Do you think? I don't think that'd be the United team personally. Against Arsenal Thursday. Do you see much change in your team in that team that played against Chelsea? Or
yeah, I don't think Ronaldo starts on the bench two games in a row.
No chance.
Definitely not. It just won't happen. I think he'll go 4-2-3-1 again, mate. I do. I think he'll go 4-2-3-1. I think you'll see bloody McTominay and Fred in there, Bruno, and I think he will put Rashford on the wing, Sancho on the other side, and Big Ron up there instead of Matic. I think Ron in for Matic, and I've got a horrible feeling as well. He's going to drop either Lindelof or Bailly for Maguire. I can just see it.
Maguire will definitely come back in.
I don't understand why.
I'll be surprised if Matic started. No, Matic won't start against Arsenal. I'll be very, very surprised. Well, Dan, quickly, what do you make of the Arsenal? What do you make of our midfield in terms of Sambi, who's quite young? He comes with a good rep. Captain at Anderlecht, big words from Henry and company about him. What have you made of him for what you've seen at Emil Smith Rowe?
Both of them, mate. Both of them have really impressed me. I've got to be honest, Smith Rowe more so. I watched him last season; he was quality, but he's. Do you know what? He's taken that next step in his career now, and he's starting to fill out a little bit as well, isn't he? I think he'll be something special for you in the coming years. I couldn't believe what I was reading when Aston Villa were bidding for him, and I thought, oh my God, they're actually going to lose Smith Rowe to Villa here. But no, I think he's got a massive future in front of him, and to be in the England squad now, he won't look back. You've got some absolute incredible players coming through. You got, I mean, Saka's just something else, isn't he? I didn't know who Saka was until last year. I hadn't got a clue who he was. And,
he still doesn't get. He's had spits and spurts this season. He's played a lot of football, Dan. Like Arteta's, I don't remember a game he hasn't played. I mean, he's probably going to be missing Thursday night due to injury for the next couple of games. But he's played a lot of football, Saka. But I still don't think he gets enough credit as he deserves from rival fans.
I think he's quality, mate. I think he's absolutely quality. And what I like about him is he's versatile as well, isn't he? He can play in quite a few positions for you on the field.
Let me quickly go to the comments quickly. So let's see. I expect to win. Uber will play. I said it yesterday on another channel, Dan. I said if I don't see anything in 45 minutes, I want him taken off. I want him off. I think he's lucky to start, but I think he will start Uber Aubameyang. But yeah, score wise, Dan, I think you might just have you know what, games in isolation. I always like to say. I think you might just have a little bit too much. So I'm going to say probably we might just come away with a 2-1 defeat.
Mate,
I hope I'm wrong.
Come on, McTominay and Fred start. Come on now.
But our midfield, I think our midfield won't change. I'd be very surprised if Arteta doesn't stick with. I know Thomas Partey hasn't been. He's not torn up trees. Put it that way. As good as he is. I was going to ask you quickly before we go about Bruno Fernandes. What have you made of him this season, but more so in the big games for United?
He's sulking, isn't he? He's gone from being the big boy at United. Now Ronaldo's come in. I think he's almost sort of Ronaldo's come in and said, no, you sit down. I'm the big boy. You sit down, you know. And I do feel he is struggling from Ronaldo being there, but you don't go crap overnight. He'll come back. He'll be absolutely fine. I think he just needs to play in a system that benefits him. And at the moment, I don't think. I think with the amount of defensive players we've had playing, as I keep saying, that back seven with the goalkeeper, you can't expect too much creativity and too much magic from a man when he's got to do it all on his own up the top there. So I don't know. The other thing as well, I'll quickly say about that front three we've had, and this is where Ollie got it so wrong, is you're playing three forwards. There's no creativity on the wings forward. Ronaldo's a goal scorer. Get the ball into the box, Ronaldo will score. Yeah. When you're playing the likes of Greenwood and Rashford, all they're going to do is cut in on their opposing foot and try and have a shot, and there's nothing there. And then Ronaldo, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Ronaldo's left to pick up the scraps. And I kind of feel like that's the same for him and for Bruno. Bruno's world class, and his talent it will shine through. He'll be fine. But I've got us down for 2-2, mate. 2-2.
Ooh, 2-2 and 2-1 against my own team. Unbelievable scoreline. It's quite surprising, actually.
Look at my camera.
I just think our record there's just awful at Old Trafford, man. But yeah, listen, I hope I'm proved wrong. Unfortunately, I definitely hope I'm proved wrong. But like I said, I'm looking forward to the game. I'll be honest with you. But Dan,
that comment, Fred Davids.
Fred Davids. And I said when the FC comes out some brilliant one-liners on my stream.
Love that. Fred Davids. Oh, if only.
No, Dad, pleasure having you on, man. Tell the people where they can find you. You do some amazing. Big up to you because you give a big voice for the non-league football, which I'm
not at the moment, mate. I've been too busy.
I know, but generally speaking, your channel though.
And you know what? Actually, you can find me crying behind my sofa at the bloody season we've had so far. No, I'm at Football Want. There will be stuff coming back out and very soon. It's just been a hectic sort of couple of months with COVID starting to rear its ugly head again. I work in the care sector with mental health, so it's just been. It's been so busy, and there's a lot of people out there that need support. So it will be coming back, more content, and I do implore everybody who's watching, if you've got a free weekend, a free weeknight, and you've got nothing to do, go and show some support to your local non-league teams. There are, and I don't even mind saying this, there are thousands of clubs out there, and trust me when I say this, the money you put behind their tills, behind their bars, it doesn't just go into the coffers for the owners. That goes straight back into the club, straight back into grassroots. And without grassroots, we wouldn't have what we've got now. So 100%. Make sure you just support them. Make sure you support them.
Great shout, people. I've put Dan's Twitter handle at Football Want in the description. But guys, listen, I've tagged him on my Twitter, so you'll see him. I'll tag him again anyway. So make sure you go and follow him. I know.
Hey, Albert, I've got a question before you go, mate.
Go on, mate.
Christmas drink, mate. We need to sort something, don't we? We need to
sort. We do. I'll get down to Manchester. I've not been for a while, man, but I come meet my bro, man, for the first. That'd be great, man. We'll sort something out, definitely. But big up to the people in the chat. Like I said, smash the like button. Follow my esteemed guest on his Twitter handle and football channel as well. Big up to the non-league people. Give your virtual waves goodbye now because we're going to be logging off very, very soon. I will put this on my audio. Thank you to the Facebook viewers and also YouTube as well. So that is match preview over and done. We're going to OT in a couple of days. Is it done? I can't remember what days it is now. Look. Thursday.
You're going Christmas shopping, mate. Points for everyone.
8:15 kickoff, people. Not 8 p.m. 8:15 kickoff. But people, this is me, Albert J TV, over and out. Match preview. # Manchester United versus Arsenal.